Yes, as you can tell by the title of the video, I played 2 hours of The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered No Return mode at a private focus event in San Francisco at the PlayStation headquarters. Thank you so much to the people at PlayStation and Naughty Dog for inviting me. I got the invite and I flew out on my own dime because I wanted to check it out in person, and at the same time, I needed to check it out for you, the Last of Us community. A couple of notes about this video. The B-roll that you see is majority going to be no audio. It was due to technical difficulties at the event, my capture equipment, things of that sort, where I was unable to capture audio. Luckily, I did salvage 2 audio and video clips in its full glory as much as I can, and also this was captured at 1080p 60 frames per second, and due to embargo restrictions I could only show you about 10 minutes total across all my socials. So I'm going to show you about 6 to 7 minutes here of the different variety of gameplay. For those who don't know, No Return mode does feature the ability to play as different characters as Ellie, Tommy, Jesse, Dina, some of the Abby's people, and Joel, and I do have some of the footage of most of them except Abby's people. So also, I want to also talk about this video is that these will just be my impressions. I'm not going to go in depth into the systems or things of that sort in regards to No Return mode. This is more about the vibe as someone who's been following Naughty Dog for a really long time, and as someone that has been covering the Last of Us factions for, I don't know, 1,000 videos. So let's get into it. No Return mode is exactly what I thought it was and a little bit more. When I saw the announcement trailer, it reminded me of Resident Evil's Mercenary mode, where it was just a very arcadey experience. The one difference is that the Naughty Dog is able to add that stickiness to it that makes you want more, and that carrot that you're chasing is you just end up thinking about it after you played it, and that's what I had. The No Return mode, for those who don't know, is a roguelike, kind of like the only way I can describe it is like a Mortal Kombat tower, and you have all these encounters that lead up to a boss fight. And along the way, these encounters are randomized, alongside that the locations are randomized and the enemy types are randomized, and the mode itself is randomized. There's a couple of modes that I encountered was Assault, which is you're basically surviving waves of hordes of enemies. There is Hunted, where they're literally hunting you and attacking you, and you have to survive a time limit. And the other one was Hold On, when you're trying to protect a VIP or your co-AI partner until the timer is over. And those are the ones that I experienced. I believe there's another one that I did not get to a chance to unlock. So what they do is they randomize all that. You have a couple of choices and branches for you to get to. So usually you have 2 encounters to choose from, and that leads you down to the path. Throughout the 2 hours I played, there is 6 difficulties. I played on moderate, and I could not get to the boss battle. It is very difficult to get through the entire run because your resources carry over. Luckily, your health does regen between the hideout phases, but what's really difficult is the resources in terms of your ammo carries over. So if you have a bad run in the previous encounter and you take into this one and you don't have the ability to upgrade or buy more ammo, you're going to be in a tough spot, and especially if it's hunted against the infected. Speaking of the different variety of enemy types, there is the defective, the wolves, and the seraphites are the ones that I saw, and like I said, I didn't get to the boss battles. So let me just go back into the way it flows into it, and then I'll go into if I liked it or not, and then I'll go into in regards to my as a Last of Us faction player. So essentially the way it goes is that before you pick an encounter, you have a hideout phase. You go into your locker, you're able to upgrade your weapons, you're able to essentially upgrade your character. You could unlock recipes, you could unlock skills, things of that sort. You could unlock different kinds of items to use, and those are the times that you need to prep for your next encounter. As you go on, you unlock so many different little nuggets and things of that sort that allow you to experience a more complex and creative run. At first, it's very vanilla, but the more runs you do, the more you unlock, and the more characters you unlock, and the more outfits you unlock, the more weapon skins you unlock. There's so many things to unlock in this mode. Ellie and Abby have so many different skins and things of that sort, and everybody has like really head to toe outfit changes, and that is where the arcade fun experience lies in that. And it's really cool to be able to do that and to have something to do. Just to step back a couple of moments here, what a run is you essentially have one run to be able to get to the boss, and if you die during that, it's over. You have to restart. So essentially The no return mode is everything that is really fun and exciting to play about The Last of Us Part 2 down into a bite-sized morsel, a mouche-bouche, so to speak, and that you can enjoy it on the daily and you can enjoy it in bite sizes versus this grand opera of The Last of Us Part 2.
We'll find you.
Fuck. Keep looking, fuckers. God.
Where'd you go? Get eyes everywhere. Find that woman.
When I beat The Last of Us Part 2, I did the encounters over and over and over again because I really did enjoy it. And I feel, in fact, I got into the point where I wanted to speedrun it so much. And that is what I like about the mode itself. Now, what I do want to say is one thing before I go into more pros is that I had this feeling that despite playing with all these fun characters, I felt that, you know, without the small talk, without the cool cutscenes, I was like, okay, I know this is Jesse, but I am getting a little bit of quips there, a little interactions, a little bit one-liners from there, but it's not the same in-depth experience that The Last of Us Part 2 has. But then I had to take a step back again, was that if I want that experience, I could just play the single player versus to what is being presented in No Return. And then I later uncovered that the true emotional damage that the no return mode has is when you grind yourself so hard to get to a certain encounter and you die and you lose every bit of progress you had in that run, and you were crafting this and you were unlocked this skill and you were having fun and you were gearing up, you were getting ready for the boss fight, which is the arcade bloater for the first one you unlock. And when you get outflanked by the AI or the infected overrun you, that is heartbreaking. Then I started to understand that they're trying to put that onus on me, the player, to feel that heartbreak in myself versus what the character's heartbreak that I was experiencing in the single player story. I know it's a lot for you to walk down, but with me, but trust me, you'll see when you play the no return mode that you start to feel that. And then one of the things that I want to say is a good pro is that Naughty Dog has the ability to, what I like to call Naughty Dog Fi something, where they can make it immersive. The music, the tension, the aggressiveness, the feeling, the desperation that you're low on ammo, all those kinds of things ring true in no return mode. Despite not having this overarching story, you start to feel that yourself as a player, knowing that you're going to go into the next encounter and you're not going to have a great time because you just wasted all of your smoke bombs or you wasted all of your stun bombs. And that is what I like about the no return mode. And that was very surprising to me when I unlocked that feeling like, oh my God, I've just lost. Let me try again. And one thing I want to make clear as well is that the characters do play very differently. I know, granted, some of the animations are kind of the same for each character type, so to speak. Like Dina herself, what's really cool about Dina is that what I discovered is that she has trip mines already unlocked, which is something you have to earn for the other characters. But Dina's kind of ability is to have it already, and it's really fun just to sit back as Dina and set up trip mines everywhere and then see everything unfold. Whereas, for example, Tommy and Joel, they don't have the dodge. So for them, you literally have to be this truck and you have to go through everybody and you have to take so much damage. And for Tommy, you have to rely on his sniper that he has unlocked. And for Joel, you got to be that old man Joel strength type of vibe. And it's so fun to see the different characteristics. And Jesse, he has a silencer already unlocked, and you get to play that experience. And then Ellie is like an overall all-around character that she unlocks her things a little bit rounded, so she's gonna do a little bit of both melee and the gunplay. And that, to me, it's where I see, okay, if I was playing no return mode on the daily, I could be like, all right, today we're gonna try Ellie, we're gonna unlock her trees, we're gonna progress through her systems and all those fun things. Oh, then okay, I liked Ellie, now let me step back and try Abby, who actually, with her perk, is that every time she does a melee it kills, she gets health back. Which then you think about, if I was in an affected, hunted situation, then I would know that Abby would be a great benefit. So there's just so many of those things that when I stepped away after that 2 hours, I just started to think about, like, okay, this is what I'm gonna go through, this is what I'm gonna do next time. Maybe I'm not gonna be Tommy and Joel, because Tommy and Joel, once they get discovered and once the affected just barrel down on them, it's over because they can't dodge. I gotta find a choke point here. And one of the interesting things as well is not only that the levels change, is that the level layout change as well in this rogue-like simulation. Is all of a sudden you're like, okay, I remember Jackson, this alleyway was available, this cover was there, but now it's not there. And Jackson plays differently when there's infected in there versus the wolves or the Seraphites.
Start running. Nice try. I know you're out there. There you are.
So these are all the kinds of systems and layers that this no return mode has, that goes beyond mercenary mode of Resident Evils or any kind of new game plus type of arcadey vibes. Yes, you do get points. Yes, you do get a grade, and that's where I see that's where the arcadey vibes comes to it. But that's what's the most exciting part for me, is like, I want to be able to get better. Once I was playing that demo, I was like, man, I got a B. I know I can get an A. And then when you start seeing the A, you're like, okay, I did that very fast. I did that very aggressive. The gunplay was there that was able to get me to bail out of those situations. And that to me is the most exciting part of it all. But here's the biggest questions, right? The biggest question for someone that has followed me for years, that's been along with me since 2013, since the first time I released my Last of Us Factions videos. And I want to be clear, this is not Last of Us Factions, of course. This is not a PvP situation. This is a PvE. And as I was playing, looking at the maps, remembering that I made a video about, man, these encounters, this would be the perfect multiplayer map for The Last of Us Part 2 Factions. You always have to question, and you always have to say to yourself, man, I wish this was Factions 2. I wish The Last of Us Part 2 had factions. I wish I was fighting against another player, and despite how intelligent the AI is, you're just, man, this game is so good, and the music's so good, and everything's intense, and the gunplay is so fun, and the fluidity of the combat, the ability to go prone, the ability to hide in grass, the ability to squeeze through a little crack in the wall, the sounds of the gunplay inside of houses versus outside, the adrenaline rush of being the last one standing as everyone pulling through. You're just sitting there like, man, I wish it was Last of Us Factions. and I'm hoping that the response for the Last of Us factions community is positive for this. This will definitely keep us idle hands busy during the break in terms of whatever the Last of Us standalone is going to be. I couldn't get any information about factions. I knew not to ask. I just had it to make clear to anyone that was listening while I was there. I was like, man, I wish this was factions. And throughout this entire time until January, I will continue to answer as many questions as possible in regards to it. Like I said, it's very sticky. I'm still thinking about it. Some of the runs, the heartbreak that I had, despite being 2 hours, it's very difficult. I can't imagine playing it on a very harder mode. The systems are very in-depth, and it is dense. It is very dense for just what some would say is, I'm not saying this, whatever, it's like, it's not an afterthought. That's the one thing I want to make clear. It's not an afterthought, and it's not like a pacifier for us Last of Us factions fans. It's more of like, man, they could literally do anything with this combat system. They could literally do anything. The one thing I just had to say before I leave is like, there's this rush of a battle royale experience, because once you boot in, this timer starts and you're like, oh my god, I need to get resources. Let me get every single resources, open up all these drawers as fast as possible before the horde shows up. And then when you complete the encounter, it's like, oh my god, I need to get all these resources before the timer goes out, because I know I'm gonna need to find something. I know I'm gonna need to find a health kit. And that's just a cool rush. And going back to your hideout and everything, I know this video is all over the place, and I just could not find the way to deliver what I'm trying to say, and hopefully it does capture. Again, if you have any questions, please comment down below, and I'll be happy to answer it in the upcoming video. But yes, I will do tutorials. I will do tips and tricks in regards to different runs with different characters, and I will do streams of no return mode in hopes and in waiting for that Last of Us standalone, the Last of Us faction standalone, that multiplayer online. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.